Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament, the Pan-African Pyramid Debate with your speaker, Andrew Irumba Katusabe.
Thank you for joining us. This is the Pan-African Pyramid Show here at Fair Hotel. My name is Andrew Irumba Katusabe, your speaker. I am joined by a number of universities here in Uganda, from Kampala University, from Kyambogo University, from Makerere University, LDC, and then also have some distinguished guests here amidst us. Now we are saying, as Russia and the West quote Africa for renewed friendship, and friendship is in quotation, how should Africa react? All these countries, the continent is trying to quote Africa for support. What type of support do they want, and how should we react in unison? Remember, Africa is strong when it is united. If tomorrow you side with Russia, America may have something to do with you in the future, or vice versa. But in such a situation, how should Africa, react? Right here on this platform, I've been joined by distinguished members. Actually, I have two professors right here. The first one is Professor George William Maleme. This one is a renowned international writer, but he's also a lawyer. He's an international lawyer. And on the other side, I have Professor Adina Wabiakwaso. He's a lecturer at Indeja University and several other universities. I also have a senior researcher, Mr. James Kashaya, with Professor Adina Wabiakwaso. Professor, we've taken some time without coming to the debate here. I want to begin.
I've taken a long time without coming. I want first to say, I know those people who are listening to me and those who are here, there are two groups, two camps. Those ones who support Russia, and the big reason they usually give is that at least Putin is attacking the bully of the world, America. At least we have got a power which can also stand against America, which has been a bully, has been fighting wars. I don't know how many governments has attacked in the third world countries and removed the governments. The atrocities the West has generally committed, colonialism, even. Then there are those who call themselves Democrats. And they say, Russia is the aggressor, and therefore they support America. Why should you support an aggressor who is committing atrocities in Ukraine? I also don't support Russia because of the barbarian violence it is causing in Ukraine, the destruction, the innocent loss of lives. Having a reason that you are protecting your security, your interests, the security of Russia. Couldn't Russia be secure if the world really wanted peace? The reason why I don't belong to any side is from my sexes. What you call modern civilization, as far as I'm concerned, is barbarism. Barbarism. Yes. I derive this one from the history of Europe. When the wild tribes, I could mention some of them, came from the present Scandinavian countries, invaded the great Roman Empire, they used the most inhuman, sadistic, brutal tactics. They destroyed what they could not carry, robbed what they could carry, killed the people from whom they had robbed. So, when I look at that history, which is revealed and took place around 4 AD, that's why I see what is happening in the world is the destructive practices of the barbarians, which have been modified and carried on up to the present time, but they call it modern civilization. Can you imagine during the Second World War, Russia, which is said to have been communist, allied with America and France? How could they come? Then after the end of the Cold War, They, after the end of the Second World War, they brought the Cold War, which was mainly fought on third world countries, in order to make people suffer the destruction. That was the purpose.
Where should we?
Africans, including me, I don't have any side. And if there is any barbarian coming to come to me so that I take a side, I will tell him, when the war was being started, was I ever consulted? I will say, if you don't have anything to do, don't do it with me here. That's what I would advise all Africans.
Now, when you ask me the Russian war in Ukraine, you are like directly and indirectly telling me to assess the importance of Africa in an European wars conflict. So when you are saying Ukraine, Russia, how can a continent like this one be involved in another continent, and yet Africa we have our own problems? Now, Mr. Chairman, let us take an example of the history, because this thing has ever happened. In September 1939, when Hitler invaded Poland, France and Britain declared the war, on Germany, and that one started what we call the World War. Actually, immediately after 1940, I think 1948, the World War veterans that came from Africa gave an analogy of what transpired and the testimony, and it built a strong bond within the African continent, started craving for their freedom. You get it? Now, what are we learning from these international wars? To me, this would be the right time, Africa, to unite. Now, when some of you who study history by mistake, when a certain empire is collapsing, you are expecting another empire to rise, isn't it? Now, we are expecting, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, the American empire rises up. Now, we are seeing now American empire collapsing, the Soviet Union collapsed. What does it mean? Either African empire to rise up or Asian empire to rise up. This would be an opportunity for us.
Mr. Speaker, sir, in the Ukrainian war there are two issues. One is about ego. We are talking about ego. Ego means who is right. Putin saying I'm right, and then Putin sending feelers to his African friends to say he's right. And then Zelensky saying he is right and attacked. And Putin's friends refusing to agree. So ego is about who is right. But there is what we call truth. Truth is not about who is right. Truth is about what is right.
Not who is right.
Not who is right.
The act.
The act, who is wrong.
Okay.
Who is attacking the other. If you are a father and children are fighting in the bedroom, you cannot say that because both of them are your children, you will not say who is wrong or who is right. You will be a father bila mshimamo. You will be a father ataina msingi. But if you're a father, even if both are your children, you should say you are disturbing your friend. So African leaders are showing poor leadership. And it's coming out very clearly. The indecision of African leaders to show the side in this war is about their incapacity. Recently, the Russian foreign minister came to visit Africa, and he chose 4 countries. And all the 4 countries he chose were the countries being led by military leaders. He chose Egypt, he chose Republic of Congo, he chose Uganda, he chose Ethiopia. In 1960s, when the Cold War was here, these people militarized Africa. They used Africa to fight their wars. This time, Africa should not fight the wars of Russians to take us back to the Cold War. They should not fight the wars even of America. African leaders must fight African wars. And which wars are not military but academic, and economic.
Start with a quote from the great Pan-African leader, Osagyefo for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He said in one of his iconic speeches of the 1963 to the African Union, he said, "We face neither east nor west, but we face forward. We face neither east nor west, but we face forward." With that, it calls us Africans to be, in other words, to be neutral in such matters. Most countries fight wars for their own interests. The interest can be political, it can be a security interest or an economic interest. That's what forces countries to go into wars. Now for us Africans to participate or trade with any country, we must first see, do we have any interest? Do African countries or Africa as a continent, do we have any interest in the Russia-Ukraine war? If we have that interest, then we can decide on the country to side with. Of course, in that war, Africa will have interests. As the previous speakers have said, that when an empire is collapsing, then one of the empires has to rise. So as Africans, we must utilize this chance. We must utilize this chance, also rise up as Africans.
So, but our action as Africans, we should be neutral. The catastrophe that is going on between Ukraine and Russia. So, reason being that we cannot play much between them, because their military is stronger than us. But what we can do as Africans, we can have more support to them. We can advise them to promote peace in order to stop that war.
According to the observation and analysis, Africa is a country of unity, and it must keep united in some way. However, Africa has a lot of feudalists and imperialists. Not only imperialists, but materialists. They struggle with foreign powers to weaken the Africa United. According to Professor Lumumba, in his speech, he sometimes say, Africa do not have confidence within themselves. They consider foreigners as the superior. Without a foreigner, an African idea is weak, which is not true. if we have confidence within ourselves, we are strong.